I think it would be well said that I have a reputation for being optimistic. The truth is that I won the Optimist of the Decade award from the Optimist Club, which I was a member of for 17 years. And among optimists, I was even um, noted that I was very optimistic. I think that optimism is a very good thing. I think it's good for your health. I think it's good for your well-being, for your overall attitude about life. Drives people crazy from time to time. Just ask some of my kids and why, it's not always a great thing socially, but I think in general, I'll go with optimism. Now, gonna be telling you the truth the best I know how to do. This morning, I'm going to be as realistic as I know how to be. I'm going to shed as much of that optimism as I possibly can and see what I can do about giving you exactly my realistic analysis of what is going to be happening over the next couple of few months. And in that regard, what I'm going to be looking at is, of course, the stock price of Tesla. And I've already said over the last couple of weeks that I think we're stuck in a range, and I think we're going to be stuck in that range until major news comes out. And so I'm going to explain what I mean by major news as opposed to other kinds of news as we get into it. So went and checked as best I could with regard to what AJ is saying about 2024 earnings total. And I think we're talking about under $3. Looked at 2025 earnings, and it looks like he's at about $5. I'm not quite at $5, believe it or not. AJ's higher than me. I come out for 2025 earnings at about $4.35. Now, if you take even 100 times that, okay, 100 times forward earnings, that would only get you with AJ's, that would get you to $500. Okay. Now, AJ is projecting 600, and I'm projecting 700 by the end of next year. But in terms of right now, if you multiply 5 times 100 or 435 times 100, you've got 435 to $500. That's partially why I think we're stuck in a range right now for a while. Tesla's very volatile, but I think the range will be around 410 to 480 for maybe months. We might be at a plateau. We might not be able to break out above that 500 again until there's major news. Okay, what's going to be happening in the next few weeks, next few months? What's going to impact the numbers? Well, I think we're going to get over 500,000 cars. How do I come up to my number? Oh, I'm looking at everybody else's numbers and just saying, well, this guy has been pretty good and that guy hasn't. I haven't gone into it deep at all. Elon says we're going to hit 515 at least, and so that's important to me. What I hear from Elon is always important to me. I think we'll get around 9 gigawatt hours of energy, like we did in the quarter three. And I think those numbers, of course, are going to be reported next week. And I think that they will have, assuming that they're not crazy different from what I just said, I think that it won't impact the stock at all. Maybe a little bit up, a little bit down, but I think it might be more about the macro than it'll be about the numbers. Could we be under 500,000? Yes. And if we're under 500,000, maybe we'll see some kind of a small setback, but I don't know if it'll go under 410. So that would still be within this range. The 500,000 number would be great. I think anything above 500. Now the street is saying 511 at this point. They've raised their estimates. Troy Teslike, best I can tell, is just under 500,000, but thinking it might go over 500,000. I don't know. I do subscribe to him, and I just looked at it. That's the latest I can see. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I think he is. So I don't think the numbers coming out on next Thursday roughly will impact the numbers. Then there's Juniper. I think Juniper could be announced the same day in China, maybe even on the 1st, maybe even before the 1st. But I believe that the Chinese version of Juniper will roll out very early in January. And I'm assuming that it will look good and that it will have all the cool things that were on the Model 3. And I think it's going to have a huge impact on the sales of Model Ys. I think now there's my optimism, because we don't know what's going to happen. Last year I was very optimistic about the Model 3, and I thought that Model 3, all the changes were so amazing that it would blow the doors off of the sales, but it didn't. Not even in Europe, where it would have been more likely, I suppose. And in China, I mean, it did fine. It did okay. But I mean, the reviews are phenomenal. And now you can buy a Model 3 for $29,995 in the United States with the $7,500 tax credit. And it's like, why wouldn't people be buying that? But anyway, I was wrong about that part of it. And maybe it'll be this year that it'll go crazy. But anyway, the Model Y getting those upgrades to me would increase sales of the Model Y everywhere. So we should see, in particular in China, where we have lots of capacity, United States, where we have lots of capacity. Why did I say in particular? I guess everywhere we have lots of capacity to do more Model Ys. So we could see some good upticks as the Juniper comes into these various markets. I think the earnings and the margins on the 22nd will be in line. Okay, so I don't think we're going to have any big surprises. Well, okay, what would be a big surprise? Well, I don't think most people, I think, are thinking it's going to be about 17% margins. We've got Brian Wong coming in at over 20. I'm agreeing with him. We've got other people saying under 17%, like I think, again, Troy Tesla. And his, the most recent ones I'm seeing, but I think, other people are kind of more in the middle, like same as last quarter. We've got reasons, and I gave those reasons last week, why I think the earnings could be much higher in terms of the numbers of cars that are being made, some of the IRA money that would be coming in, et cetera. And I think these are things that people are not paying attention. I think there's certain things that people are not paying attention to, but let's just say that they're within that 17% to 20% range. I don't think the market will move much, a little plus or minus. What about whether Elon's in a good mood or not? Everybody's decided that is the most important thing about an earnings call, not the margins, not the earnings per share. It's whether Elon's in a good mood. I think he'll be in a fine mood. He's all excited about Doge. He's all excited about robotaxis. He's all, cybercabs. I mean, why wouldn't he be in a good mood? So I think he'll be in a fine mood. I don't think it's going to move the market. I think we're going to be in that range. Okay. Let me know in the comments below if you think I'm wrong. If there's a really bad miss, it's 16% margins, or, the earnings per share is way lower than expected, or something like that. Could we break below 410? Yeah, maybe 380, 360. So, I mean, yeah, if you're a short-term trader, that may be an opportunity or maybe a loss. But if you're a long-term trader, it's coming back. Okay. I promise you, by the end of next year, it'll be at least 700. So it really doesn't matter in the short term. And, that reminds me, I was thinking about this last night. Which month or which quarter robotaxi actually rolls out, or which month or which quarter full self-driving becomes unsupervised? Yeah, these are the things I'm going to talk about in a minute that are going to really matter. But which month it happens or which quarter it happens? By the end of the year, I think it happens. I think all that happens. And so we'll be at 700, as I call it, plus. We'll see what happens. All right, here we go. Here's we'll be seeing better and better FSD coming out, right? I mean, right now we're seeing a couple of examples of FSD 13 running red lights. I mean, these are significant problems, but we'll see better and better. We will see updates, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. Will we have a 14? I don't know. It kind of sounded like they thought 13 would be the RoboCab, Cybercab, whatever version, but maybe they will call something version 14. But it's just going to get better and better. That's what we know. I don't think it changes anything. We're still going to be 480. What about unsupervised? Okay. When unsupervised is announced, I think we go to 550. Okay, so that'll be the first. That'll be that will be the key. Unsupervised is the thing that'll drive us. Might even get us to 600. Let's say unsupervised is announced in March. Yeah, I think we could be at 600 in March. 550, 600. Yeah, especially if a couple of these other things happen. We could be between that and the unsupervised. We could be at 600 in March, April. Yeah, could be. All right, whenever it happens. All right. Okay, now what happens, the reason I believe that is because at this point, once it's actually unsupervised and Elon says the words, we're going to cover you. Your Tesla's insurance covers you. If you're involved in an accident while an FSD unsupervised, if you're asleep in the back seat, you can't be liable. The car is liable. That means Tesla's liable. He says the words, you can sleep, you can play video games. You don't have to even sit in the driver's seat. All right. When that happens, that is a big moment, and the market will begin to project beyond current sales and start looking at the AI sales. They'll be looking at the future sales in 2026 and beyond. All right. So that's when we start looking at my earnings estimates for 2026, which is $8 a share. So now 100 times that is $800. So will we get there in 2025? Yeah, I think so. But that will be dependent upon robotaxi, which we'll talk about next. So we also could have solid news on Optimus, something really significant about Optimus that could change things. And in particular, what I will be looking for is use cases, but even more than that, the voice. I think the voice will change things. We'll talk. I think I bring that up again, but if I don't, I think the voice is very, very important. Okay, then robotaxi rolls out. If robotaxi rolls out in the mid-year as projected by Elon Musk, if we actually start to see Tesla robotaxis, and by that I mean Model 3, Model Y, Model S, Model X, maybe even Cybertrucks, rolling out as cybercabs, not as cybercabs, I'm sorry, as robotaxis in Austin, in California, wherever, and they're actually out there, they're actually getting fares, we're actually getting reports back that they're doing fine. Then we go probably to around 600. I think in mid-year when this happens, could go higher, could go 700 at that point. What about other possible announcements? These are some of the catalysts, which I would list as catalysts. I think these are all catalysts. Spoiler alert, I don't think any of these are going to move the market, but they should. How about when the semi is in a beginning ramp? I mean, the factory's almost done. They're going to start putting equipment in if they haven't already. Pretty soon, maybe by March, April, May, I think they're going to start rolling some of these babies out. No impact, won't have an impact. Okay, that's just my opinion. Maybe they announced that they're doing 10 a week, 50 a week, 100 a week. No impact. I don't think it's kind of an impact. I mean, we just had the announcement. We just had the announcement that they're doing 200 a week of the Juniper in China. It had no impact. Megapacks are ramping up. Oh, good. In Shanghai. Good. No impact. Doesn't matter. Everybody's expecting megapacks in Shanghai. The fact that they're starting to spit them out in this year, no, it's going to be about robotaxi. Okay. 4684 lines are 100% ramped, and the next 4 lines are beginning production. I would buy more if I had dry powder and I got the announcement. I think that's like way up at the top of the list of important things in this market, in this situation with robotaxi and everything else that's happening. No, I don't think when that's announced, it'll be exciting. Those of us in the community will be thrilled. $10 maybe. No, probably nothing. Actually, probably zero. The CATL battery line in Reno's are producing good product, maybe fully ramped. That's 40 gigawatt hours that they're going to do in Reno. 40, in addition to the 100 that I just announced a second ago. No, there's not going to be. No, it's not going to change anything. They're making refined lithium in Corpus Christi, so we know that they've started to put stuff in the hopper. But then there's the next level, next stage, et cetera. But at some time, maybe in March, according to most estimates, maybe in March, we'll start taking the refined lithium and shipping it to Austin to be put into batteries. No, nobody will care. It won't move the market $5. How about US and Berlin start making Juniper? No, it's not going to matter in China. It's not going to matter in Berlin. It's not going to matter in the United States. Fantastic reviews of Juniper. People talking about Juniper being the best car that has ever been made. Well, we had that with the S. We had that with the Model 3 last year. The Model Y is probably going to be the best car ever made. Better than the Cybertruck. Cybertruck, some people are saying Cybertruck was the best vehicle ever made. So the Model Y will be the best vehicle ever made. It'll be a little better than maybe it'll be a little better than the Cybertruck in some ways, and Cybertruck will still be not going to matter. Sorry. I know. Who is this guy that you're watching right now? This is not the optimist, right? This is the realist. I don't think these things are going to matter. US and Berlin start making Model Q. Gary Black would say that is going to move the market. We're going to see the Model Q. It'll be revealed in some way. It will be priced. We'll know exactly how much you can buy it for. We'll know that it's starting to make them. You can go on and place your orders. Okay. Maybe when we find out how long the line is to get the orders, maybe we find out that it breaks the internet. We find out that everybody starts calling in and they want one, and now they're 3 months delivery, 5 months delivery, blah blah blah. Yeah, that could give us some kind of an increase. I'm going to say, yeah, maybe $20-$30. Okay, Gary, I'm gonna buy in. Okay, when they start making them. What if as a result of some of all this stuff, we start to see that the 20 to 30% increase that Elon was talking about is looking like it's going to be true? Nah, not going to affect anything. What about when Cybertruck prices go lower, production increases? We're now looking like really a $250,000 unit year for Cybertruck. And, and there's a good waiting list and people are buying them on a regular basis because they can get them for 70 or 60 or whatever the number turns out to be. No, not gonna matter. When they announce a new mega factory, they're going to announce it, I don't know, East Coast, maybe they just expand the one here in California. Maybe they'll put one in India or in Malaysia, Indonesia. I'm not sure, but someplace they're going to announce a new mega factory. Not going to move the market. Sorry, I know I'm sounding like a broken record. They begin to start groundbreaking in Mexico. No, not going to move the market. Nobody's going to care. Okay, none of this is going to matter. Maybe $10 here and there. Maybe nothing, because all eyes are going to be on robotaxi. And here's where I think the big thing is going to be: we will move the market with the voice. It is interesting. I was at the All In podcast, I think, because I've watched so many podcasts in the last couple of days, I can't remember. But they even mentioned it on their Christmas show, their Christmas party they had. They even mentioned it, that the voice, it's got to be about the voice. This is what's going to happen. It will move the stock. When we get to have my friend Kit, when we get Hal, a hopefully somewhat conversational. Yeah, I think that'll move the stock. That would be on the bot as well as on the car, and that could move the stock 20, 30, 40 points, I think. Clarity on the compute impacting FSD for cars might move the stock. So if we find out that the cluster down there in Texas, in Austin, is fully 100% working and it's maximizing all these various things that it's going to maximize to where the FSD now, we're really seeing the results in the cars. It's causing fewer interventions, et cetera. Yeah, that probably could move the stock if it's well explained. Okay. What about the purchase of 10% or more of X.AI? Yes, that'll move the stock. We want that. Everybody wants that. We're begging Elon to allow Tesla to spend $5 billion. The company's worth $50 billion. Buy 10% of it for $5 billion. Yes, that is what we're looking for. Okay, and then Optimus. Okay, in my opinion, the thing that's going to get us to 1,000 in 2025 is if Optimus is revealed. Now, there could be a lot of other things. So revealed could be an ongoing process. So, it's revealed doing certain tasks. It's revealed talking conversationally. It's revealed that it responds to directions, a human standing next to it saying, yeah, okay, yeah, but you're going to have to press harder in order to get that screw in. No, your welding torch is not exact. It's not close enough. You need to, so the human is standing next to it, giving it some instructions. It's operating without teleoperation, doing things that are exciting and fun. Fun. That's really a big part of it. You know what I'm talking about? Those will move the stock up towards that 1,000. But what we really need, you've heard me say it before, if you watch the channel, what we really need is a reveal that says, here's hundreds and maybe even thousands of optimists working in the factory, doing real work at human speed, not slowing down the line, doing a great job. I would hire them. You would hire them. Everybody would hire them. You're seeing a a drone flying through the factory, or you're just seeing somebody walk up and integrate with that will be important. But what will do the final number will be, here's the price. Here's how much you can rent it for. Here's how much you can buy it for. One or the other are both. Here is when we'll start making them. Or we are already making them, and we're planning to start shipping in January. Or we think we will make 100,000 in 2025. Not and or. I don't mean any of those are ors. They should be all of those. This is how many we're going to ship. These are some of our early customers. We are already in relationship with In-N-Out or with Pepsi or with whoever. We've got them in their factories already, or we're going to be putting them in next month. That's the kind of stuff that will get the stock to 1,000, in addition, of course, to robotaxi rolling out. You need both. To get to 1,000, you're going to need both robotaxi and Optimus. That's my thinking. All right. Yeah, I'm done now, but I'm still going to do this close. This is Randy Kirk. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. Later on today, I'm going to do the questions I would ask Elon Musk right now if I had the chance to do an interview. These questions are very, very important. Maybe you could put your questions in right now. If you have questions for Elon, put them right now. I'll check those out before I do the show. That will be the show at 7:45 tonight. Okay, that's that late show at 7:45. That's when I'm going to do that. I think you'll find that show to be very interesting. Very interesting. I think at roughly about 5 o'clock, something around 5 o'clock, I will do the Tesla news that's happened between Friday night and that time. So I'll be pulling together all the news while I'm watching football today. I'll be pulling together all the news, and I'll do that show around 5 o'clock. Last night, many of you missed. You didn't look at it. It got 12 views. Okay, it got 1,000 views. CERN Basher, you turned your nose up. You didn't watch. I mean, you love CERN, but you didn't watch him last night. I guess you're not interested in the Bitcoin at all. I mean, okay, yeah, 1,000 of you were. This is a show you need to watch. Okay. I know it's an hour and 50 minutes long. Watch it as long as you want. Maybe you'll be bored in the first 15 minutes or the first half hour, but go back. I'm going to put the card right here. You need to go back and watch that show. This Bitcoin is now becoming a thing. Yeah. No, I'm not suggesting you buy it. CERN doesn't say buy it. He just says you need to know about it. It's going to be important. It is a major asset class now. Okay. It is something that the US government is considering putting in its strategic reserve. The US government already owns, it's like the second or third largest owner of Bitcoin. This is something that you need to understand just in order to understand the economy, to understand, how things work in the world. It's kind of an interesting primer on money, so it's worth it to watch that part of it. So anyway, I'm just encouraging you, go back if you got the time today, turn off this. You don't need those announcers watching these NFL games today. Just turn that down, watch the game without the sound, and listen to what CERN had to say. You might have to look from time to time to see what the chart looks like, but you know what a great job he does with pictures and stuff. Anyway, I just absolutely encourage you to do that. Is there anything else I wanted to tell you today? Oh yeah, Patreon would be lovely. I had one person join in the last like 3 weeks, but that's good. Thank you for that one person. And maybe a few more of you would like to help support the channel. I do have, it's not a New Year's resolution. It's a goal for 2025. I am planning in 2025 to make the channel, I would like to earn less than half of what I earned 20 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, that's my goal, is to learn. And I'm talking about not adjusted for inflation. I was earning a lot of money 20 years ago. Okay. So what I was earning 20 years ago, cut that in half and a little more. And I'd like to earn that much next year. That would be my goal. And I'm probably going to need some help from Patreon to do that. Now, why do I want to do that? Because it's worth it, because the show is worth it. That's why. I think I'm not bragging. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I think what you're getting is worth at least the dollar number that I'm hoping to gain for. Okay, I'm going to tell. Just for those of you who waited this long, I want to go to six figures next year. Total earnings from all media. Okay, that would be X, Patreon, maybe some people paying some money on Patreon. What do you call it? The subscriptions on Patreon. Maybe some Cybertruck bottle openers that I sell next Christmas. I did about we did over 100 of them this year compared to like 1,000 last year, but it's all right. It was good. I was happy with that. Okay, so from all resources, I only want to get to 100,000. Does that seem unreasonable? All right. So was I pessimistic or was I realistic enough? Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments below. Does what I say make sense? Does that seem like a reasonable expectation for 2025? Do you think we're range bound, or do you think we'll break out of the range even before some of these announcements? Do you think 1,000 will happen if we hit all those catalysts that I just talked about? All right, that's all I got for you right now. It's been great talking to you.